G'day guys, welcome to my RX Flyers feature video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about NRL 9's Part 2 recap preview for 2020 guys, so let's get started. So the first match of this game, we see the Knights going up against the Panthers. Now, that game was absolutely pretty good. I like how the way that Knights took conclude of that match. The Panthers didn't really play as well. They played pretty good. They are a pretty good team, which they are developing pretty well. They really are a great team, which I can see improvement into that club, into that fresh season anyway for that upcoming NRL season for the Telstra Premiership. But really what I can say about the Knights is they are still developing with a couple of players joining into the Newcastle Knights. You got also like Tex Hoy, which he is a development player, which he is going to probably play for the reserve grade, and then once he develops pretty well, I reckon he's going to develop in the NRL squad, which is going to be amazing. And I reckon he'll probably do very well into that squad, and I reckon he'll do pretty much very good. But all you need to do is work harder, but that's what he does. But anyway, the Knights have basically won this game. I really like how the way they've scored, basically. It was 16 points to 4 that scoreline was, and I just think that the Newcastle Knights just improved very well. And I do like the Knights because they are pretty much a good team. But sometimes though, you can basically like improve in a couple of matches, and you need to like have that balance into that squad. But really for the Newcastle Knights is they are a balancing good squad. I really like how the way they improved very well, and I like to say well done to the Newcastle Knights because they are a developing club, which that means that like Tex Hoy is coming into that squad, and you got like Jacob Saifiti where he obviously scored a try also too, which I very much applaud for him because obviously Daniel Saifiti and Jacob Saifiti are brothers. But yeah, pretty much a good team, pretty much a good squad, and I tell you, Newcastle Knights did pretty well. It was a 16 points to 4 win against the Panthers, and I tell you, Newcastle Knights did pretty well anyway. The next game of this round, we see the Roosters going up against the Warriors. Now, this game was absolutely pretty cool. I like how the way that the Warriors enjoyed playing like at Perth. But really what I can say about this club, they don't really develop pretty well. I like how the way this team is brought into the actual development team. But they need to regroup some players and bring some experienced players into that squad. Which that means that if you want to learn how to play footy, you've got to learn how to play by experienced players. Because if you just keep having reserve grades coming in all the time and a bunch of them coming in, you're not going to learn anything, and it's going to be very, very hard for them anyway. But really what I can say about this club is it's a really good thing to learn how the way you want to play your football right. But it's just not good enough, obviously. But yeah, what I can say about this one is 14 points to 8 the scoreline was. Roosters absolutely played very well. Turner scored a hat-trick of tries, which I think that was an absolute amazing thing that he obviously did. But not a lot of players into that squad came into the Roosters, which that means it was just very weird. But it's what you call a development club anyway. But anyway, what I can say about this one is I like how the way they brought into that squad. They absolutely done a very good job against the Warriors. It was a 14 points to 8 scoreboard anyway. And I tell you, Roosters are a very good team, and they are a very hard team to beat anyway. But yeah, what I can say about this club is they are a very good club to basically watch and see anyway. The next game of this round, we see the Sharks going up against the Bulldogs. Now, this game was an absolutely secluded match. I like how the way Sharks are a very good club. They don't have a stadium just yet of their home ground because it is getting upgraded because I'd say that's what I can say is like they've redeveloped a stadium anyway, which is Jubilee Stadium. And what I can say about this club, I like how the way they've brought into that side. They're a very good side. Sharks are a very good team, and I like how the way they just upgraded their stadium to an absolute very good stadium. But like, I like how the way these players absolutely score tries. But like, let me say this: but like Ronaldo Mulatalo, um, Josh Morris, and I think Connor Tracy scored those tries, which like Connor Tracy is a very development player, as what I said about Tex Hoy from the Newcastle Knights. Connor Tracy has been redeveloped into an absolute good team, good quality squad for them, and I just think that Connor Tracy will probably fit into the Sharks. But what they need is they need to absolute control how the way they want to play footy. But I like how the way Chad Townsend suits that squad, and he is just a absolute fantastic player that I enjoy this seeing anyway. But really, what I can say about this guy is I like how the way Connor Tracy is a very good player. He was played for he played for the South Sydney Rabbitohs, which I thought that he was going to stay in there for long, but then he probably contracted for the Sharks anyway. I really like how the way this club is. It's a very good club, and I just think Bulldogs need to develop more players, and I just think how the way it's going to go. Bulldogs are a very good team, and it was a 25 points to 4 scoreboard, and let's say Bulldogs wanted to do better, but they are a very good side anyway. But I could say anything better, but Bulldogs need to work a bit more harder to lead into that squad to win some games anyway. The next game of this round, we see the Eels going up against the Dragons. Now, this club, okay, Parramatta Eels are a very good side. Luckily, they won up against the Dragons. That was the second match of that game, which I applaud because it was a very good scoreboard. 15 points to 7, that scoreline was. And I just think Parramatta Eels did make the job done up against like the Dragons anyway. But what I can say about this club is they are a good club. Hayes Dunster, Will Smith, and Clint Gutherson scored those 3 tries to make it 15 points, and I think Cody Ramsey only scored 1 to make it 7 anyway. So with Tristan Saylor obviously scoring the goal anyway, and obviously you got which is I think Brad Takarangi that probably kicked the goal anyway, and obviously like Tristan Saylor that kicked the goal anyway. So yeah, that made it 15 points to 7 that scoreboard, and I just like how the way Dragons are a very good club. They brought in Tristan Saylor, which he is an absolute killer freak. I like how the way Matt Duffy plays, but apparently I think I got told that he was injured. I think it was upper body. That means like he probably got hurt so much. But what I can say about this club is I like how the way Dragons can be a very good hard team, but sometimes they can fall over, slip over, and just make it a losing match anyway. But really what I can say about this game is I like how the way the Eels played obviously really well. They obviously focused their minds and thinking that we need to win the game and we need to win, and they obviously did up against the Dragons anyway for the round 2 match, and they obviously did anyway. But I was superb pleased how the way the Eels won this match, and I cannot believe how the way it's going. It's a very good game anyway, and it was a very good match for the Eels against the Dragons anyway. The next game of this round, we see the Rabbitohs going up against the Raiders. Now, this game was an absolute cracker of a match. I like how the way these two clubs are meeting, and these two clubs are a very hard team to obviously beat. But really what I can say about this club is like Rabbitohs are a very good side. You obviously got like Damien Cook. Campbell Graham doesn't really do much, but he obviously plays very good. Then you got like Dane Gagai, which he plays very well, and he obviously plays for the Origin. Queensland Maroons. Then you got like Cameron Murray, which I don't think he played for that game. But then like also too, for the Raiders, you obviously got this guy, which he's obviously redeveloped, and I think he's a development player, Harley Smith Shields. Entertainer obviously did mention about him, and he is an absolute killer freak, which he obviously scored a try. And he's an absolutely amazing person that I think that how the way it's going to go, how it's going to turn out, I reckon that if this guy is going to turn up pretty good, I reckon he'll probably play for the Raiders, and I reckon that if Joe Croker, say, like, goes for the Australian side or the Blues or Maroon side, I reckon Harley Smith Shields will probably redevelop and probably play for number 3 or number 6. But let's just find out and wait and see anyway. But really what I can say about this match is 29.8 the scoreboard was, and I cannot believe how the way it's going to go. It turns out pretty well, and I like how the way Rabbitohs just defended the Raiders, and Raiders are a very hard team to beat, which sometimes they obviously come out firing and just beat different teams in a row. But sometimes though, they do lose a match, but it's obviously for them. But what you can say is the Rabbitohs did play very well up against the Raiders and was a 29.8 scoreboard anyway. The next game of this round, we see the Titans going up against the West Tigers. Now, this game was obviously a pretty good game. I think the Titans played obviously very well, the Titans last year didn't play obviously very good because usually they play fairly good, but then last year they played pretty terrible, which I cannot believe. They keep losing a match every single time, and it's like saying Newcastle Jets keep losing every single match, but then they obviously won against the Central Coast Mariners. But we're not saying that anyway. We're saying about the NRL anyway. But anyway, the Titans played obviously very well. 14 points to 13 the scoreboard was. Ash Taylor, Jai Whitbread, Philip Sammy, they obviously scored for this match, and I cannot believe that Philip Sammy plays obviously very well, which he is on the wing for number 5. Jai Whitbread is either on forward or either on the bench. Ash Taylor obviously either plays for 6 or 7, which leads Tyrone Roberts into that number 6 or 7 squad. But I think Ash Taylor usually plays for number 7, which he is the 5/8 of that game for the Titans. But anyway, that was just a thing that how the way I wanted to go. But Titans, they are a very good team now. I just think they'll redevelop, play a very good game with Justin Holbrook for the new coach. I reckon they'll probably have a better game than last year, and I reckon that they'll probably win a couple of games, which I think that they obviously will. But obviously for the West Tigers, Luke Garner and David Norfoluma, both of them scored, and I just cannot believe how the way it's going to go for the West Tigers. I reckon that probably 50-50 play a certain type of game, which I think they'll probably do well, but I don't think they'll stay in the top 8 anyway. But I recommend probably do or not. But anyway, that's what it was, and that's what it is. But Titans play obviously very well, and I like how the way they suit for that new coach anyway, Justin Holbrook. The next game of this round, we see the Sea Eagles going up against the Cowboys. Now, this game certainly goes planned. I think how the way they're obviously playing a very good game. I do enjoy Cowboys obviously playing a very good match, only because that sometimes Cowboys can obviously win a match, but then Cowboys re-solidify, and obviously these new players obviously came into that squad and obviously played a very hard game it was. And I do enjoy sometimes Cowboys do get the job done, but obviously certainly not. But what I can say about this club is Cowboys are a very good side. I like how the way Sea Eagles just do enjoy a couple of them anyway, but really what I can say about this club is I do enjoy things like how the way it was. But then Sea Eagles obviously brought in Ruben Garrick and Luke Metcalf, which he obviously scored for that match, which only leaves to 7 points. But 10 points obviously went to Tom Opacek and Murray Tuolangi. Now, this game was an absolute great game. Cowboys obviously just really justified because last year they obviously didn't play as very good like the Titans, but they obviously do play an average game, which I think it was a 50-50 type of match. But like certainly sometimes you got to give credit to obviously like this team because obviously they do struggle and fall apart a bit, and with a couple of the players joining, I like how the way this player, but I can't remember his name, he obviously scored, and I like how the way, or not obviously scored, but I just like how the way he obviously runs very quick, like Josh Odocar anyway, but it wasn't just how the way it is. But anyway, it was a very good matchup, and I like how the way Cowboys obviously went, and obviously was 10 points to 7 match, and what a great job that was to obviously beat the Sea Eagles anyway. And finally, the next game of this round, we see the Broncos going up against the Melbourne Storm. Now, this game was an absolute crucial match. I don't think Darius Boyd was in that squad, but I know for a fact that this club, I think how the way they really justify this squad only because of Brody Croft and Jake Turpin was obviously in that squad. Jake Turpin obviously played very well, but the only tries led to that match was Katoni Staggs and obviously Jermaine Asako. But this match was an absolute great match. Broncos need to justify in how the way they want to play their game, because last time when we played up against the Broncos, they got smashed and we beat them 58 points to 0 anyway, which that one was absolute shocking for them, and they would have been absolutely devastated. So what I can say about this match though was an absolute great match from the Broncos. They obviously woken up and thinking that we need to win a game. If we want to be a team, we obviously need to win a game anyway. But absolute crazy things happened, like how the way Broncos are a very good club, but they have to be into that competition if you want to go into that top 8. But since the Melbourne Storm obviously played up against the Broncos, they obviously lost, but this scoreboard was obviously 12 points to 8, and this game certainly didn't go as planned for the Melbourne Storm. But then they didn't have that Suliasi Vunivalu. I think Josh Adokar didn't play. I don't think Shandell L also played. But yeah, well done to the Broncos, and I just think how the way they obviously went, they certainly played very well than last year, and I reckon they'll do a better season than last year anyway. Thanks guys for watching my video, guys. Stay tuned for more. I will be doing a couple of videos coming to you guys soon. Also, I'll be doing more videos coming to you guys soon, so stay tuned for more. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and for this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, take care guys, stay safe, and have a good one.